charts are alive, Bull Barbie's in town. Time to thrive. Saddle up, tennies, apes, and stonks. Bags shaking like they just saw YOLO bonks. Calls flying, puts diving, standies all day. Hollers praying their bags don't run away. She laughs a line in hand, hair in the wind. Every meme she posts is a profit pinned. Saddle up, degenerate. Send those rockets, don't hesitate. Tendies, apes, bags, and hodlers too. Bull Barbie's calling, it's Huddle or blue. Short squeeze incoming, the moon is near. 𝗕𝗵𝗁𝗁𝗀 while bag holders fear. Emoji rockets launch from her screen. She's the queen of green, the diamond hand queen. Stop losses, panic, bulls do a jig. Every candle she touches turns into a pay gig. From premarket aligning to the last bell ring. The trading ranch laughs while the charts sing. Saddle up, degenerate. Send those rockets, don't hesitate. Tendies, apes, bags, and hodlers too. Bull Barbie's calling, it's Huddle or blue. Some say she once made a bear market blush. Heard she taught a bag, hold a diamond hand in a rush. Apes salute, tendies march, hodlers giggle. When Bull Barbie trades, the markets wiggle.
Good morning, y'all. Decided not to blast the music at everybody. Let's see if that was a good choice. Well, we literally just had a bunch of data come out. We got core PCE, GDP numbers, and the unemployment claims. I went ahead and let my old bot post some of these because I have an issue with the new bot that I'm gonna sort out hopefully today. But we've got some numbers to show you. Let's go ahead and bring this over here. Good morning, Miss K. Good morning to Andy. Good morning, Hadley. Who am I talking to? Your name doesn't start with R. Yeah, so we're getting through some of this big data that was all over the place for the week. Why is this not showing the screen? Oh no. There we go. A little technical hiccup there. Today had vibes about technical malfunctions, but we're gonna keep rolling. So here is the numbers that I was trying to show you. The chart was the whole screen was frozen back there. But PCE, GDP, unemployment were the big numbers today. It looks like nothing came in too crazy, but the unemployment claims are a little bit high. So the reaction that we're getting over here, not too crazy. It kind of looked like we were going to test 6,800, didn't quite get it. But let's talk about what we have going on today. I'm going to remind y'all that I'm streaming the open today, kind of old-fashioned stream after this one. I'm going to close this one though, because even though the school's only 5 minutes away, I don't know. I feel weird about leaving the stream open. Okay, anyway, let's go look at the levels. Not much has changed from yesterday. So, big dramatic move. We talked about how massive this move was and the different ways that we could measure it. So the actual move, I look at kind of the low of the move up to the high of the move. 166 points or so on the S&P. Some people will kind of go from this low. Too many things going on here. From this low all the way up to this high. 274 points. So either way you slice it, pretty massive move. What I have is the fib. It's kind of hard to see with all these levels, but I have a fib on this move. And I talked about this yesterday, but what we ended up doing was getting the retracement down. We didn't even get into this golden pocket that I really wanted to buy. So technically that trade's still open down there, but we went right down to this, the 236 retracement. And we've just been chilling there between basically the high of the data move and that low. So after this big of a move, it looks pretty stupid to just sit here. But the good news is yesterday was really slow digesting this move. Look at all this digestion we've had. So maybe we'll get something going today. We did have that unemployment number or unemployment claims come out a little bit hot. There's claims and there's rate, and they're a little bit different. So this is the actual number of people who have filed an unemployment claim that came out this morning at 219,000. So it's one of the first economic data points that comes out. So even though it's lagging, it's kind of telling us a little bit about what's to come potentially with labor. Anyway, here we are sitting right back here. So it's kind of a similar setup. Good morning, Tony, and good morning to Mandy. Okay, one of my bots just gave a ticket to the other bot. So I'm obviously building a giveaway system that I was testing this morning. So stay tuned to that. We will do a ranch race. Go turn the notifications on for my next live. It's going to be in a little bit. We're going to do giveaways during that live because it'll be longer. This is shorter. This is the pre-market prep. I try to keep this down to 15 or 20 minutes. So it's rewatchable. And then I'll start our trading stream in a little bit. So we will have giveaways during that next stream. And this is a little preview where the bot just gave tickets to the other bot. So anyway, back to the charts. Thankfully, I do have a little bit more time today because this is kind of the same setup we had yesterday, where we're either going to be looking for a bullish continuation or a bearish shift. So it'd basically be a news fade more than bearish for anything else. So so far we've gotten a good setup for the continuation, the bullish continuation, because it didn't retrace very much of this move at all. There's still danger of this move being retraced. So that's our bear plan. But our bull plan is seeing this still move, and I'm really watching. This number's hard to see right here. It's right at 67.80 where that first retracement level is. This is just a very standard Fibonacci retracement. So we have that level to watch. As long as that level holds, the 67.80, then we still have all of these. We still have our bullish bias alive. If we keep losing this, we need to watch and see if we find support in the golden pocket. A lot of times these moves will retrace about halfway. And I really watch that halfway, because if we don't get halfway, a lot of times we get to the top of this golden pocket. If we're a little not sure, we'll tend to dip in towards the bottom of it, but still potentially have a hold. So I'll still be watching that. It's just because we've already had this bullish continuation so far, that's kind of the obvious spot to watch, a little bit higher up here around 67.80. A lot of times we get a full retracement of these moves whenever there's any news countering that. So that's what we have to, if there's any news that comes out and says, actually guys, I think we're just going to keep bombing them, then we're going to lose this. Because what this move is the market pricing in fewer bombs and more things getting through the Strait of Hormuz. It's about 20% of our oil, I think, goes through there. A bunch of other stuff too. So it's pretty important that we be able to get things through. That's why the S&P, which is made up of all these other stocks, is going to rally when all of a sudden those companies can get back to doing business. Tech's been really hurt by that, so NASDAQ's affected too. So if I put my kind of levels back on, I haven't drawn this on here yet, but what I'm looking for is right here, and I've got my magnet on, so it just literally, well, I think it grabbed the bottom of that, but that is the line in the sand for me today, or the 67.80, and you can see where that golden pocket zone is falling right around this magnet level, and then we've got the bottom of it falling right around this level. So those are the main levels that I'm going to be watching. So this is our main line in the sand, bullish continuation versus a retracement. Hold this, we can be, well, we've already got 6,800. It's kind of hard to call that a target, but we've got our, well, these will be our London highs right there, and up to 68.20, and then a little bit higher to go to yesterday's high around 68.30. And then of course we have the full drifty high. A lot of times these fade and you can get a little gap fill. We got a little bit of it, but not very much of that gap filled. So we've got that high from after the big Iran announcement all the way up there at 68.50. If we short squeeze, which is a possibility, we are just going to be looking at some of these old levels. These are pulled. If I zoom way out, it's not going to do it for me right now. But if I keep zooming, these are going to be levels that I pulled from way left. And we've got a zone from about 68.70 up to 6,900. And then we'll be looking for, 68.90. And then we'll be looking for 6,900 if we get something squeezy. We have to remember, because this happens when we have these big dramatic candles. I measured this a little bit ago. It was like 170 points. This whole move's 270. That's a lot. That's a very high percentage of the ES. We just got a weird data candle or something news. President Trump posts on Truth Social. None of these people, including our own very disappointing NATO, understand anything unless they have pressure placed upon them. I don't know if that's what the market was just reacting to. I'll show you on this chart. Oops, that's not it. This chart. That kind of candle that I was just watching. I was have the NASDAQ open. It looked a little dramatic over there. But that was kind of my point. Okay, so if we're looking at these big candles, of course these aren't going to look very dramatic. But, you know, if we kind of zoom in on them. Yeah, whatever. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I screwed it up. But if we, if we zoom in on a smaller time frame, then these look a little bit more normal size ranges, right? So that's a very much more normal size range that we're trading in. So you have to remember when you're zoomed out looking at that candle that was very dramatic. It just froze again, y'all. I'm sorry. I changed my thing to make it look pretty, and then the whole world breaks. I was showing you here, like when we zoom into this is a 5-minute chart, so it looks a lot more normal. I don't know why we're glitching on the charts today. That's annoying. Hopefully that doesn't happen to us next. So I've explained to you the bullish continuation. Let's go back and look at the bearish. We're already getting kind of long on here. Oops, that's the NASDAQ one. We want to look at the ES one. So we've got our line in the sand. If we get below that, there's a quick little move potentially down to the midpoint of this old gap. This is an old gap, so we'll see. But it's 67.66 there. And then we've got this whole cluster of action between 67.42 up to 67.50. And that would be some pretty decent support. That is around that 50% retracement. If we get through there, it could probably be a little bit scary and get a quick drop down to 67.20 and down to potentially look into these pre-launch levels. This is one when I do my analysis for next week, as long as all this holds, I'll kind of fine tune this, and this will end up being a new important macro level because this is resistance that was broken and then potentially held. So we could see if we get some sort of retracement down into here to support this. But right now the market is feeling mostly happy. It froze again. I don't know, y'all. I obviously have to go fix that. I don't know what's going on. Are we back? We're back. At least y'all can hear me, right? Okay. Where were we? Loving the pre-market prep. Yay! Glad. What about the 𝗖𝗵𝗶𝗰? Yeah, we don't hear much from them, just the straight. You're right. I don't think they're as accepted in other parts of the world as they are like worshipped in the United States these days. But yeah. What else we got? I think that's pretty much it for today. It's a little bit more straightforward than it has been, and we didn't have to worry about that. But if we do end up chopping, I think kind of the most, am I still live? Okay, it hasn't frozen yet. The most likely area to chop would be between the 67.80 line in the sand and these highs up here. So we've got the high from the other day, 67.50, but a really ugly chop would probably stay closer to the 67.30. With this digestion, big move digestion, I think it's a little bit less likely today that we get stuck in there. There's we're gonna need to watch volume. We had some pretty decent volume yesterday. If the volume's really low, we could end up with some big crazy wicks. So that's kind of the thing we have to watch out for, given that all of these things are really spread out. Because like I showed you on my I watch this one when I'm trading because I can watch the cumulative tick and some other stuff. but we've still got some ranges inside of here that we can play. So it used to be that we saw chop day and we're like, no. But now at least in these, if we do get in these chop scenarios, we've got these nice big ranges. When that happens, you're just looking to fade the ranges back towards the center, something like that. Yeah. Where are we? I think, yeah, I don't have any other notes for today. Other than, I think that you guys should definitely go watch turn on notifications or whatever for the next one. So if you weren't here earlier or you're not familiar with my routine, I do my pre-market prep. I used to do this in Discord and write it up, but I decided to do it live. It's more fun. And then I have to go do my mom duties. The school's real close, so I go right and do that and come back here. And I'm usually in Discord, but today I'm going to come back and stream with y'all live. I'm going to restart probably also because I'm getting some weird glitching, and it might be because I just updated all of that stuff. All right, and keep showing up and keep chatting because I do have this little ticket system. It's just not fully set up yet, but you will potentially, just like my little ranch bot that's not been excluded yet because it's testing, we're going to be able to get some tickets for showing up and chatting. So thanks for that, y'all. Alrighty, I will see you on the next live stream in a little bit and or in Discord. See ya.
Did I just... Oh no. Maybe I'll sell or double down. Heart rates with 20 BPM. Brain says die. But I hold anyway. 3 minutes left. Full meltdown. 10-point profit. Gone, can't count. Stops laughing, mocks me with glee. I'm holding why I'll never leave. Screen flashing red, eyes wide. Traitor tears, pride denied. But tomorrow we'll do it again because NASDAQ swings don't pretend. NASDAQ swing madness, all in, yeah. Stock beats the account, targets a prayer. P&L zero, adrenaline fair. YOLO forever, chaos everywhere. NASDAQ swing madness, screaming loud. Shots like art, traders proud. One candle away from ruin of fame. Swinging world. But it's just a game. If I survive this, maybe I'll trade the Dow next week.